Today I'm going to show you how to make this little country Christmas wreath pendant. And you can slide it on a chain, or I'm going to show you how to make the bail. You can slide it on a chain, or you can do as I've done with this one, and you can string some, I used 8 O's and some of the matching crystals to go with my wreath on this one, and just crimped some ends on it. You can do that, or you can tie it on a ribbon or a piece of cord. A red ribbon would look really pretty on this. You can make the bail as big or as small as you want, and I'll show you how to adjust that during the tutorial so that you can put this on whatever it is you choose to do. Of course, you could put ear wires on it too and make 2 of them and make them into earrings also. All you'd have to do is just change the way you make the bail and attach it to your ear wire, and that should be fairly easy to figure out. So anyway, this is what we're going to make. It's really pretty, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Let's look at the material list. Okay, for this project, you're going to need 30 Super Duos. This is an opaque luster cream Super Duo. Then you will need 27 4mm bicone crystals. This is a Swarovski Emerald AB. Then you will need 11 O and 8 O seed beads. These are both Toho seed beads, and they are the galvanized permanent finished starlight or gold tone. And as I said, 11 O and 8 O. Then you will need a 4x3 crystal rondel. I'm using this red crystal rondel, and this is a Chinese crystal. You will also need a size 10 beading needle and 8 or 10 pound Nanofil, or 6 or 8 pound Fireline. Either one will work just fine. You will want to put onto your needle a full wingspan, maybe even a couple inches more, and we will begin our project. Okay, the beginning of this project, I've kind of done my stitching kind of strangely. It seems as if it would be easy for me to string these on and then start with my second step, doing the right angle weave with my crystals. However, we're not going to do that way, simply because the pendant stands up better when I do it the way that I'm going to do it now. If you just string on your first beads and then start your right angle weave through it with your crystals and your 8 O's, it collapses. It doesn't stand up quite as well. It's still pretty and it's easier, but the end result isn't as nice as if you do the steps the way I'm going to do it now. So though they may seem strange, there is a reason for it. So what we're going to do is we're first going to pick up an 8 O seed bead, and then we're going to pick up 3 of our 4mm bicone crystals onto our needle. Let me get you in a little closer here, and we're going to bring these down to the end of the thread. You do not have to leave a long tail, just enough to hold on to. Make sure that it doesn't slip through the beads. And then we're going to go back into the 8 O seed bead. So just skip over the crystals you just put on, go into the 8 O seed bead, and pull this down into a little unit like so. And then we're going to sew back through this unit so that it doesn't slip off of our thread, and it secures itself really well. So just go back through all of the beads we just put on here, like so, and then back through the 8 O seed bead. And then give both the tail and the working thread a little tug. Now we're going to pick up a 3x4 or a 4x3 rondel, and we're going to drop this down to lay next to the 8 O seed bead. Because we're coming out of the 8 O seed bead, our thread will be threaded right through that crystal. Then we'll pick up an 8 O seed bead, and we will pick up 3 4mm bicone crystals. And we're going to drop this down. And then we are going to come back through the 8 seed bead. So I am just going to hold on to my crystal. I'm going to hold on to the first unit I made, and I'm going to go into this 8 seed bead. Now I'm going to hold on to it too and pull my crystals down into a circle. Then you have to slide the 8 seed bead up next to the rondel as close as you can get it. Like so. Let's get you a little closer so you can see. Just like this. So you'll have to slide the units together and just mess with it till they're close to each other. And then go ahead and reinforce your unit that you just made. So we're going to go back up through the crystals. And then back down into the 8 seed bead. So coming through my third crystal here, I'm going to go into the 8 seed bead right here. And I'm going to hold on to the 8 and the crystals, and I'm just going to give a little tug on my working thread. Try to keep everything together nice, like so. And that's what you should have so far. Then you'll pick up a rondel and drop it down to the 8 seed bead. Like so. Hold them together, give a little tug like this. Hold on to the 8 seed or to the rondel and pick up an 8 seed bead and 3 bicone crystals. Then drop those down to your rondel, like so. Hold on to the rondel and the 8. Just bypass the 3 crystals. Come back in the back end of the 8 that you're exiting from, like so. Go into the opposite side and pull. And like I said earlier, it looks like it'd be easier just to string on 8s and rondels and then come through and make units for your right angle weave and your 8s. But like I said, it just doesn't have the same effect when you're finished. So that's why we're doing it this way. Then we're going to sew up through the crystals we just put on, and as you do this, just keep adjusting your thread and pushing your beads close to each other so that they don't spread apart. If you hold enough tension by putting your thumb over your piece and holding it in your finger like this, you'll keep them together pretty well. Then go through the 8 here and pull the thread through. Now we're going to drop another rondel down. So I'm just going to pick up a rondel and drop it down to my 8. I'm going to hold the rondel up to the 8 seed bead, and then I'm going to pick up another 8 and 3 bicone crystals. And I'm going to drop these down to my piece, like so. I'm going to hold on to that 8 seed bead, hold it up next to the crystal, the rondel crystal, and come into the opposite side that I'm exiting from in the 8, like this, and pull. And I'm just going to turn this piece a little bit so I can get a hold of it better, and then I'm going to sew through my crystals again. Now if you're doing this and it pulls apart, just pull it back together after you go through each crystal, and just make sure that you're keeping your 8 touching your rondel beads. Just do it slowly. This step takes a little bit of patience, but it can be done. So just give it, just take it slow. And then again, we're going to pick up a rondel and we're going to drop it. Maybe drop it down the thread here. And I'm going to hold it up against the last 8 that I just put on, like so. And then I'm going to pick up an 8 and 3 bicones, like so. I'm going to drop them down to my piece, and then I'm going to come through the back side of that 8/0 I just put on. I'm holding it up against my rondel, and then I just come through the back of the 8/0. Slide them down and tighten by pushing the 8/0 against the rondel crystal, and then hold on to your beads and sew back up through them. And after each stitch, like I said, just pull your thread and rearrange your crystals. We're going to do this until we have 6 units of crystals, of the green crystals. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to do one more, and then we'll connect this into a circle. So pick up a rondel, drop it down, hold it up against your last 8/0 seed bead, pick up an 8/0 and 3 bicone crystals. Drop them down, and then hold on to the 8/0, go into the back of the 8/0, and pull the crystals down. So back up through all of your crystals, securing them and arranging them as you do so. And when you get all the way around, and go through your 8/0 seed bead, and then we're going to join this together with a rondel now. So we've got our 2 units here. Let me tuck this tail back behind everything, and I'll show you what I have if I can do it. Okay, so now this is what we have, and all we have to do is connect a rondel here. So we're going to pick up a rondel, and we're coming out of this 8/0 here. We're going to go into this 8/0 and place this rondel in between, and just sew through the 8/0, the rondel, the 8/0, and pull. So now we've got a circle. We're going to sew all the way around the circle. So I'm here. I'm just going to go all the way around the rondels and the 8/0s in the center of my piece. So let me get rid of my tail again here. So just all the center beads. We're going to sew through them all, and we're going to make sure we have good tension as we go through. So just pull your beads together with your working thread as you go through, and tighten your circle so that it's nice and all the beads are very close to each other. When we get around to where we started going around the circle, we're going to go ahead and go through a couple more beads. So we don't want to be right where we started. So just go through until you're past where you started going through, right here. So now I'm going to cut this tail off because it's going to be in my way. I'm going to leave it a little tiny bit of length, and I'm going to burn it down with my lighter so that it doesn't slip through the beads. But don't let it slide down inside your bead either. Just kind of curl it down like so. And you can see right there, it's just curled down against my bead. And now we are coming out of an 8/0 seed bead right here. And this next step is going to look like it doesn't fit, but it will. It's designed to lay behind the units we just made. So this now that we're working through is going to be the back of our piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up, make sure that your thread is coming out of the top of an 8/0 seed bead so that you're working over the top of the rondel here. Pick up an 11/0 pick up 2 super duos, make sure that both ends are open on them because some of the holes can be closed, and then you'll have an issue your next step. 11-0, 2 super duos, and 11-0. We're coming out of this 8-0 seed bead right here. We're going to skip over the top of the red rondel, and we're going to go into the next 8-0 seed bead, and we're going to pull these beads down like so. And they're just going to look really strange right now, and that's okay. Then pick up an 11-0 seed bead, 2 super duos, and an 11-0 seed bead, and go in and drop it. Pick up an 11-0 seed bead, 2 super duos, and an 11-0 seed bead like this. And then you're coming out of this 8-0. Let's go over the top of the rondel and into the next 8-0 seed bead and pull these down. Now bring your thread and your beads up so that they lay over the top of the rondel like this. They're just going to kind of stick up in the air. That's what you want. Then tighten your thread. This has got to have good tension on it. And then pick up an 11-0 seed bead and 2 super duos and an 11-0 seed bead. Like so. And then you're going to skip over the top of the rondel and go into the next 11-0 seed bead. Then pick up an 11-0 seed bead, 2 super duos, and an 11-0 seed bead, and then skip over the rondel, go into the next 8-0 seed bead. And like I said, you're going to have to make sure that they pull over the top like so, because they'll want to tangle down into the crystals and do all kinds of weird stuff. Just make sure they're laying over the top. Pick up an 11-0, 2 super duos, and an 11-0. Go into the next 8-0. Pull them down and arrange them. And then pick up an 11-0 and 2 super duos. And then you will go into the next 8-0 seed bead. Arrange these, making sure that they're on top and that the green crystals are on the bottom. Then I'm going to sew through this rondel and this 8-0 seed bead here just to get past where I just ended that step. So I'll go into the rondel and the next 8-0 seed bead and whoops, pull my thread through. Yeah, okay. I just made a knot. Hang on, people, I'll fix it. Sorry about that. Okay. So just sew through the 8-0, the rondel, and the next 8-0. Sorry about that. Okay, now we're going to sew up into the super duo so we can make our next round. So we're going to go in, we're coming out of this 8-0 seed bead right here. We're going to go into this 11-0. So go into the 11-0, go into both super duos in the bottom hole, like so, and then pull your thread through. At this point, make sure everything is really tight. Then hop up into the top hole of the super duo you're coming out of. So you're in the bottom hole here, go into the top hole. Then you can flip your piece over because this way, because the crystals are the top. So now we're coming out of the super duo here. We're going to pick up 1 super duo and we're going to go into the next super duo. Everything's still kind of loose on the super duo row, so just hold on to it and pull the super duo in between those 2 super duos. And then pick up a super duo, a rondel crystal, and a super duo. So Where your beads are close together, you're going to put in one super duo in the top hole. Where they're far apart, you're going to put in a super duo, a rondel, and a super duo. So now we're coming out of this bead, we're going to go into this one and pull our beads down and turn. Then our beads are close together, so we'll pick up one super duo and go into the next super duo here. Then our next set are far apart, so we're going to pick up a super duo, a rondel crystal, and a super duo, like so. And we're going to go into the next super duo right here in the top hole. And pull. Make sure you have good tension. It's not going to be extremely tight at this point, but make sure there's no slack. You can't see any thread between the beads. Then, where there's two beads close together, so we're going to pick up one super duo, and we're going to put it into the next super duo in the top hole. And then, of course, we're far apart beads now, so we're going to pick up a super duo, a rondel crystal, and a super duo, and we're going to go into the next top hole of the next super duo and pull the beads down. And we'll just continue doing this all the way around. One super duo, and then, sorry, have to fix my sleeve, there we go, and then a super duo, a rondel, and a super duo. Going to the next one. Pick up one super duo, go into the next super duo. Pick up a super duo, a rondel, and a super duo. Go into the next one. Turn. Pick up a super duo. And then go into the next bead, pick up a super duo, a rondel, and a super duo. Now at this point we're going to go into this bead on the bottom, but we're also going to go into the next super duo too, and sometimes you can't do it all at once, but I did get both of them, so I'm going to go like through both of them and pull my last set of that row in and tighten, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into the next super duo. If you can get the one behind it too, great. You got to travel through all of them. Pull that tight, that last round, and then go into the rondel crystal and the next super duo, like so. Pull tight, go into the top hole of the super duo. So you're coming out of the bottom, go into the top, and this is the row where we're going to kind of cinch everything together and make the piece start to dome. So it's going to look like the beads aren't going to fit, but they will fit, I promise. So wherever there's a crystal, we're going to put a bicone crystal. Wherever there are super duos closer together, we're going to put 8/0 seed beads. So we're over the top of a rondel, so we're going to pick up a bicone crystal, and we're going to go into the next super duo in the top hole, right there. And we're going to pull those super duos together like this. Then we're going to pick up an 8/0 seed bead, and we're going to put it into the next super duo. So I'm coming out here, we'll go into this one. And here you'll see that it looks like it shouldn't fit in there. You're going to pull it tight, and as we go around, we'll continue pulling this tight. This is going to start to dome your piece around because there is more space than the size of the bead. So it is going to cuff everything up, and that's what we want. So then we're going to go into the next super duo with an 8/0 seed bead. Like I said, wherever super duos are next to each other, we're going to put in an 8/0. We're going to pull pretty good tension. As you're pulling, pull straight through. Don't pull against the side of your bead because you will break your thread if you do that. Pick up a rondel crystal now because or excuse me, a bicone crystal because we're over the top of the rondel. Then we're going to go into the next super dual right over the top of that rondel in the row before. And pull. Now you're going to have to, as you do this, you're going to have to start kind of letting them bend down in order to get them to go together tightly. Now, where super duos are next to each other, so we're going to pick up 8/0 seed beads and place them in. And then we'll go to the next super dual with an 8/0, like so. And you can see it's starting to dome. Then we will pick up a bicone crystal and go into the next super dual and pull. Pick up an 8/0, go into the next super duo and pull. And again, whoops, I just flipped that one out of here. Okay, pick up the next one and pull. And pick up a bicone crystal because we're over the rondel. I'm just going to continue doing this all the way around. 8/0 seed bead. And then another 8/0 seed bead. And then a bicone crystal. I've got my thread tangled, sorry. There we go. Go through. Eight-0 seed bead. Oops, got both of my super duos there. Bicone crystal. Eight-0 seed bead. And then, whoops, and then 8/0. Now, it isn't doming up very tight yet. I'm going to go through the next super duo. I've got my 8/0. I'm going to go through super duo and the crystal here, and I'm going to pull this all together so that it starts to form a dome shape like this. And it's still kind of wobbly. That's not a big deal. But we're going to sew around the entire outside perimeter of the piece so that we can establish more tension on our beads. So we're just going to go through all of them. So go through the next, I'm going through the super duo and then the 8/0. Don't miss any of the beads on the outside. And as you're going through, you're going to tug on each, after each stitch. Just tug on your beads. This is going to start to dome them even more. And it's going to establish a lot more tension. So, continue sewing all the way around the circle. And when we have reached all the way around, go through a few more beads past where you started, and we'll be back. Okay, so I have gone all the way around, pulling and keeping everything as tight as I can. I'm coming out of an 8/0 seed bead right here, just where I started, when I very first started, and I'm going to tie a little knot right here just to maintain my tension really well. So make sure your tension is very tight. Go around the thread bridge between the super duo and that 8/0 seed bead, pull a loop down, bring your needle through the loop, and just bring in one knot. Just make sure everything is incredibly tight. And that should help maintain some of the tension here. Our next step will also help with the dome. So now I'm coming out of this 8/0 seed bead. Well, I'm actually right here where I knotted. So I'm going to go into the super duo, and then I'm going to go into this green crystal right here, the bicone, and I'm going to exit. Then we're going to start our next step by bringing this crystal attaching to this crystal here. So what we're going to do is we're coming out of this side of the crystal. We are going to go ahead and pick up 3 11-0 seed beads onto our needle, like so. Then we're going to go through the crystal on the top unit of bicones. So the most sticking out crystal right here. We're going to go through it and pull these little beads down like this. Then we're going to pick up 3 more 11-0 seed beads. We're coming out of this side of the crystal. We're going to go into the opposite side of the crystal on the bottom of the piece where we started. And then we are going to also go through the super duo and the next 8-0 and exit. We're going to pull all this down and put nice tension on it like this. And then we're going to pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. We're coming out of this 8-0 seed bead. We're going to go over the top of the super duo and go into the next 8-0 seed bead and pull, oops, I've got 4. Pull 3 11-0s over the top of that super duo. Let me get one of these off of my needle. So 3 11-0s. We're coming out of this 8-0. Let's go into this 8-0. You can also stay in there and go through your next super duo and your next green crystal, like so. Exit the green crystal, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did on the other green crystal. We're going to pick up 3 11-0 seed beads onto our needle, like so. We're coming out of this side of this crystal. We're going to find the most peeking out crystal on the top here and go into the same side that we're coming out of the crystal on the bottom, like so. And pull it tightly, and then go into, or pick up 3 more 11-0 seed beads, and then go into the opposite side of your green crystal, the next super duo, and the next 8-0 seed bead, and exit. Pull this very tightly. Then pick up 3 11-0 seed beads and go into the next 8-0, the next super duo, and the next green crystal. And again, pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. Go into the green crystal that peeks out the most on the top set of crystals. Then spin your piece around and pick up 3 more 11-0s and go into the next, or go into the opposite side of the bicone crystal and the next super duo and the next 8-0 seed bead. And they're rather tight because we pulled them really tight, so it's going to bend your needle, and some of them are going to be a little bit of a struggle to get through, but they're not too bad. And then I'm going to pick up my 3 11-0s. And we're going to do this all the way around until we've connected all the top crystals to the bottom crystals in our 6 sets on the top here. Making sure that as you come through the next super duo and the next 11-0, or excuse me, the next super duo and the next 8-0. Skip over the super duo with 3 11-0 seed beads, and then go back through the next 8-0, the next super duo, and the next green crystal. So do that all the way around. When you have done all of the units, we'll be back. Okay, so I have put all of my 11-0 seed beads in, pulling my bottom crystal to my top crystal all the way around. Now I've just done my last one, and I need to, as you can see, I still have one of the middle super duos that doesn't have my 3 8-0s. So I have to come through, or my 3 11-0s. So I have to come through this 8-0 here and make my last little unit of 3 11-0s around my super duo, like so. And then I'll go ahead and pop into that green crystal again. So I'll go over the super duo into the 8/0 and then into this super duo in this crystal and exit. Now we have to get back down into the middle of our unit here. At this point, make sure everything is nice and neat, because some of the units want to pop up higher than others, and the super duos want to squash and blah blah blah. So just go through and straighten it all up so that it looks nice and pretty and domed like this. And then we're coming out of this crystal here. We're going to sew up into these 3 11/0 seed beads right here. Then we're going to sew into the top crystal that we're right next to. So here we're going to go into this bicone crystal right here. And then we're going to go down this side one here. We're going to go into this 8/0 seed bead, and just the 8/0. So just go through the 8/0 and exit. Pick up another 8/0 seed bead like so. And then drop it down and go back into the opposite side of the 8/0 you're coming out of. So we're coming out of this 8/0 here. We're going to go into this side here and just the 8/0, and we're going to pull that other 8/0 down like so. Then we're going to go up through the crystal here into this top crystal here, excuse me, get back in frame. Into this side crystal here, and then back into the 8/0 seed bead here. Now we want to connect it into, so we're going to sew back around these crystals one more time. We want to connect this 8/0 seed bead well. So we're going to sew back up through this unit one more time. That pulls that little 8/0 seed bead and it puts it nice in a steady spot so we can put our bow on it now. Sew down until you get, sew around the crystals until you get to the 8/0. Go into the 8/0 seed bead. Now we're going to make our bow, and we're going to do that by picking up 7 11/0 seed beads. So pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 11/0s on my piece, or on my needle. Now I'm coming out of this side of my 8/0 seed bead. I'm going to go right back into that side, just like this. And I'm going to pull these 11/0s down until they make a little loop. Now, doing this is a real pain in the bottom, let me tell you right now. You're going to have to arrange these beads as you make this little bow several times, so don't get discouraged. It will turn out nice in the end. Then pick up 4 11/0 seed beads onto your needle, like so. Drop them down to the 8/0. Then go around the 4th 8/0 or 11/0 seed bead. Don't go into it, just go around it. Then go up the 3 above it and the 8/0 that you started in and pull. Pop this down. This is going to be at the little bottom of the ribbon here. Now we're going to sew around the 7 we put on originally. So you're coming out of the 8/0, we're going to sew into all these 7 seed beads here. And as we do this, we'll have to arrange the little bow part several times because it'll do all kinds of weird stuff. But if you go through 3 and then you go through 1, you'll kind of maintain the shape that you want. And then go through 3 more, and then through the 8/0 seed bead. Pull this tight, push this little extra piece you have down here down, and then pick up 7 11-0 seed beads. And go back into the 8-0 on the same side you're coming out of. Don't get any of the 11-0s on the other side. Just go through the 8-0 and pull these 7 11-0s into a loop. Push your little extra part of your bow down and bring them up above it, like so. Now, bring your thread down to the bottom of the 8-0 seed bead. So just move it inside the bead. Like so. So I was just in the top of the 8-0. I wanted to move my thread to the bottom so that I can make the bottom part of my bow. And like I said, we'll have to arrange it several times. So don't worry about it if it looks really weird. Pick up 4 11-0 seed beads. Drop them down. Go around the 4th seed bead. So let's get close so you can see. Go around the 4th, go into the 3 above it, and then go back into the 8-0 seed bead. And just the 8-0. Don't get any other beads. And pull. And this is what your bow should look like. We have to sew back around these 7 11-0s here. So I'm going to go back into them. I'm going to take 3 together at once to maintain my shape. And it's going to catch on everything at this point. So then I'm going to go into the 1 here. And then I'm going to go into 3 here and back into the 8-0 seed bead. And just the 8-0. And then I'm going to bring my thread up between the beads here and go back down into the original 8-0 I started in. It's down behind the beads, so it's going to be kind of difficult to find, but go ahead and try it. You'll feel your needle go through it. So it's the one that we attached this 8-0 to. Go into it, and then go back up through this bicone crystal here. I'm just going to move my ribbon. I have to arrange it pretty anyway, so I'm going to go up through this bicone here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I hope I was not out of frame. I'm sorry if I was. So I went through the 8-0 and then I went up through the bicone on the side here. Make sure as you come up that your thread does not grab around those little bottom parts of the ribbon. Go into the top bicone crystal. And then I'm going to go into these 3 11-0s here. And then I'm going to go into this top bicone crystal here. Now it looks like I underestimated my thread a little bit, so I'll have to extend that to make my bail. Hopefully you guys have enough. If not, start with a full wingspan, maybe a little bit more. Doesn't seem like I had to do that before, but you know. Okay, so now I'm going to use my little tweezers I have to just kind of arrange. You can put it down the middle of your bow, make them round, whatever you need. Mine actually isn't too messy. I'm really amazed. So I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. Now I'm going to extend my Fireline to make my bail. I'm not going to need much more. I'm just going to put maybe a foot on, maybe not even that much. And I will be right back and we will do our bail. Now if you have enough thread, you don't have to worry about this part. If you don't have enough thread, then you'll have to extend also. But I'm just going to put a little bit more thread on. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have extended my Fireline here, little tiny extension. If you don't know how to do that and you find that you need to do that, then I have a video on my beginning channel It's video number 4. It's called Threading a Beading Needle and Joining Fireline and Tying on Thread to a Project. And I will put a link for it in the information box so that you can learn how to do that also. So I'm coming out of this green crystal now, and now we're going to make our bail. At this point, however many seed beads you put onto your thread is how big your bail is going to be. For my original one, for this one, I used 10 seed beads on each side, so it made a little double bail, and it's pretty good. I mean, it keeps it from slipping over my center bead there, so that's pretty good. If you're going to put it on a rope or a chain or whatever, you may want to adjust, especially if you make a spiral rope or something that you want to put it on. You'll have to add more seed beads to go around. I'm going to pick up 10. I'm going to make it the same size as I did on the other one because that worked out fine. And I'm going to pick up, I'm coming out of the green, I'm going to start picking up seed beads, and I'm going to pick up 10 of them. So I have got 7, 8, well, that's a 15-0. Where did that come from? 7, 9, 10, let me see. 7. I thought I had more than that. Okay, so here's 10 seed beads. So I'm coming out of this side of this bicone crystal right here. I'm going to go back into the same side that I'm coming out of. I'm going to pull my needle through like so. And I'm just going to pull this down into a loop. That's my little extension there, so I have to pull that through. And that's one side of my bail. Then I'm going to pick up 10 more 11-0 seed beads onto my needle. So I have 4, 5, 6, 10, like so. So now I'm going to go back into the same side. I'm coming out of the green crystal again. And just make sure you don't pick up any beads along the way. Just go through the crystal. Now, you can sew back up through these. So we're going to go up through all of the beads on this first circle here. Turn it around, go through the rest of them. Once you get around all of them, go back through the crystal. And pull it through. It's getting a little bit thread tight because I've gone through it so many times, but I'm going to pull it through. Make sure that your thread doesn't have, and your beads are together, your thread doesn't have any kind of weird little knots anywhere. Then go back through this side of all the beads. It's just reinforcing your bail. So I'm just going through all these beads on this side. And hopefully we'll make it through our crystal one more time, and then we can tie off. So I've gone through all of these beads on my bail. I'm going to go back through this crystal again, hopefully. Yep, I did, and I stabbed myself. And I came through the next super dual, which is fine. Right here I'm going to pull this through gently so I don't break anything, and tighten my bail. I'll put my tweezers through and kind of make it circular. Fix my bow. And then right here I'm going to tie a knot. So I'm coming out of the super dual between the 8-0 and the super dual. I'm going to tie a knot. And then I'm going to go through this 8-0 and the super duo and the next 8-0. And I'll tie another knot. And then I'll go through the next super duo and crystal. And then I'm just going to cut my thread off. Right here, I'm going to leave a little length. I'm going to burn it down. Like so. Then I'm going to straighten up my whole entire piece here. So I will take my tweezers, anything round will work, put it through my ribbon, push them around so that they look really nice. Rearrange the super duos that kind of got caved in from me manhandling it here. And then I will call that done. Let me pick it up so you can see a little bit. That's what that looks like. It's a very pretty little wreath. And like I said, you can run a chain through it. You can do some stringing like I did on this one. And what I did on this one was I put my end on first. I got my toggle and put a crib bead on. And then I strung this entire side till I got to my middle point where I wanted my middle point to be, and you can measure that on your little board. Make it as long as you want your middle point to be. And then after you get to that point, slide on your pendant and kind of slide it over your beads, and then do the other side exactly the same way, and then center your pendant after you put on your other end of your clasp. That's all you have to do. Or you can just slide a chain on it, or you could put it on a cord, whatever. A little red cord would probably be really pretty. That would be Christmassy too. Or a ribbon would even be more Christmassy. Put a nice pretty red ribbon through this, or a green ribbon, gold ribbon, and even a cream ribbon would work really well. Or whatever colors that you intend to use. I used the cream instead of green or whatever for my wreath because I wanted it to be kind of a country look. So I'm calling this a country Christmas pendant. So, or Christmas country pendant, something like that. Anyway, that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Give you one more close up and see ya. Bye-bye.